Hello YouTube, this is Blake from techno-buzz.com and the techno-buzz YouTube channel, bringing you our full video review of the HTC One X for Rogers Wireless. This is the full version of the review. If you're here just looking for the summary version called What You Need to Know, HTC One X, make sure to click the link annotation right now to get over to that video. Otherwise, let's get started with our full review. Let's start by talking a little bit about the hardware on this guy, starting with its main event, the screen. It has a 4.7-inch 720p screen with a resolution of 1280 by 720. It has a 1.5 GHz dual-core LTE capable processor, and those radios on board are going to be LTE and HSPA Plus for your 4G goodness. Other than that, it has 16 gigabytes of storage. About 10 gigs are available to the user. RAM is going to be 1 gigabyte on this guy. Has a few connectivity options and ports, including 3.5mm stereo audio jack, NFC, Bluetooth 4.0, Wi-Fi 802.11 and it also has DLNA support. Also, the micro USB port on board this guy can output to HDMI via a special dongle. Other features of this phone are going to be found around back with its 8 megapixel camera that's capable of taking 1080p video and its 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. That's a little bit about the specs on this guy. Just so you have an idea of its dimensions, it is 134.36 millimeters by 69.9 millimeters and it is 8.9 millimeters thin. It's really nice. It weighs 130 grams with its battery. I love how they have that weight in here because speaking of its battery, the battery on board this guy is an 1800 milliamp hour non-user removable battery. Yes, non-user removable. Why HTC? Why? Speaking to its hardware a little bit more though, this is going off HTC's normal design of using some sort of soft touch metal and replacing it with a fully polycarbonate unibody design, which they, for all intents and purposes, succeeded at. It is a really nice looking phone. It does catch people's eyes walking down the street, talking on the phone, listening to music, pulling this out in conferences and things. People have looked at me and said, well, whoa, what type of phone is that? And it just kind of catches people off guard, and that's something good. I always like people to be interested in my phone. I don't know about you. Other little features on board, you're going to have a gyro sensor, compass, proximity sensor, ambient light sensor, and probably the most important thing of all for most of us music lovers out there, it's going to be its Beats audio processing engine, which is built on board, as you can see, proven by the Beats audio logo on the back of the phone. Haha, Beats Audio. Anyway, so that's a quick overview of the hardware. Day-to-day use and performance. Now, this is another area where this phone shines. Now, it may only have a dual-core processor, not quad-core here, but really, what does this phone do with what it has? A lot. It's snappy. I mean, everything on this phone is just, it feels just as snappy as the S3, as, an iPhone 5. It is a very, very snappy phone. Everything on this guy is very snappy. I mean, launching apps like Bad Piggies. Mind you, this one takes a little bit longer than others. It's still incredibly quick considering the parts in this phone, which are in no way, slow performers. Great quad-core processor on this guy. Now, when it comes to day-to-day use, I'm talking about usability. First thing I want to talk about is how it feels in your hands. Now, I have a larger hand, but still, I can comfortably hold this guy in my hand and access most areas of the screen without much adjustment. Mind you, some is required, but it's not really as bad as something like the S3. The S3 is going to be really bad for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about battery life, because I know that's a big thing for everybody. This guy is a daily performer. By that I mean I'm able to get from 8 in the morning when I wake up all the way through to about 11:59 p.m. when I go to bed, and its battery is going to be usually about 20% by the time I go to bed at the end of the night, and that's going to be for about 6.5 hours of moderate to heavy usage. So I mean, it really performs well. So it's when you're talking about battery life, it's not something you're going to want to worry about. Speaking of performance, let's bring up Bad Piggies again here, and let's take a look at what it's like with some games. I keep using the Rovio games just because these are the most popular. I know I've had some people comment, why don't I do anything more 3D or anything along those lines? Because it's expensive for those high rate games, and it really doesn't show what the majority of people want, just in case you were asking. So let me pull up a level here in Bad Piggies, and I mean, as you can see, the phone performs, admirably when it comes to the performance on gaming. It's, taking the game like a champ. Doesn't have any sort of system slowdown issues or anything along those lines. And I mean, it's, when it comes to gaming performance, it really has been great. Sticking to my normal casual games and also including ones like Mega Jump and a few others, and I haven't had any issues with that whatsoever. Let's head back to the front screen here and talk a little bit about its download speeds. Now, I don't have any, connection tests I can do at this moment because the LTE and HSPA plus signals in this particular area is pretty bad right now on Rogers, but as soon as you leave my house, it's perfect. So download speeds. Typically, I've been seeing about 20 megabits per second down, about 10 up, and that really varies on where I am. It really, like I said, it's one of those things that it truly depends, but trust me, this phone is fast. It is blazing fast, and the Rogers LTE network is to thank for that in part, but it also has a very good LTE chip on board. Alright, next I want to talk a little bit about just the web browsing and multimedia functions on the phone. So talking about web browsing and multimedia, this is one of those areas where this phone shines. Having a 4.7-inch high-definition, high-resolution screen really makes, browsing the web on this guy a joy. Here's, the article I did on, or the review I did on the HTC One V running on the mobile version of our website. And as you can see, it is a very smooth ride. No slowdown going up and down whatsoever. It's keeping up with it the entire way, which is nice. Now let me open up another tab here I've opened. Let's head to Apple's website. I always like using this just for, kind of ironic contrast. But as you can see, pinch to zoom and all those other features are quite smooth on the phone. Although it does seem to want to refresh and push to the left side. I don't know what's up with that. It's probably just a little software glitch. But as a general rule, you don't notice too many issues with pinch to zoom, and it's very well implemented here. When it comes to multimedia related things, we can head over to the website here and pull up the video review for the HTC One V on here. And let's see. So this is going to be running in a flash view of the HTC One V in the browser. And as you can see, it's playing it back just fine, which is something that, it's really nice to see that the phone can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. Although there are some issues when it comes to actually properly adjusting 4 pages. That's somewhere where this phone does need to do a little bit of work. As you can see, it does cut off, and that's because the browser doesn't resize that box. But as a general rule, it's not really a problem. It really doesn't make much in the way of a difference. Okay, so talking a little bit more about multimedia. What does it sound like? A lot of you are probably asking or thinking to yourselves. Well, it sounds good. The built-in speakers on this guy are average. Nothing crazy good on here, but nothing too bad. And it really does make for an enjoyable movie watching experience on the built-in speakers, provided you're in a quiet room, because they're not very loud. But what do you get when it comes to your headphones? Well, that's a totally different story, and that's where the Beats audio processing kicks in. And it really does make a difference because, it's kind of like on my computer. My computer has Beats audio processing as well. Without it enabled, sound is very flat, like it is on most phones. And then you pull in the Beats audio sound processing, and suddenly you have very deep bass, and it pulls things in the right direction, and it really is nice. Now, another thing that you can tell now about the Beats audio system is that it does kind of overcompensate the bass a little bit too much, but that's just a personal opinion. And another thing that I want to speak to that is that I know not everybody's going to like it and not everybody's going to agree with me, but in my ears it does sound really nice. If I take my Beats audio headphones, see what I did there? And plug them into the top of the phone here. Where does it go? Where does it go? Can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. Plug it into the top of the phone there. Alright, we got it plugged in. And let's open up some sort of music app or something like that. Let's go tune in radio. And I don't know, we're going to just do something recommended. Whatever that is. Justin Bieber, sure. My headphones are going to kill me later. But as you can see, the Beats audio engine has enabled itself up there in the top of the screen. And that's going to be your way of toggling the processing system on and off. And I mean, it does really sound great through my Beats headphones, probably better than on other headphones. Now, I've heard rumors that it, specifically adjusts to an equalizer for the headphones that it detects are plugged in. I have not seen anything of that on my phone, so I can't confirm nor deny that. But up until now, all I can tell you is the Beats audio really makes for the output from this jack on the back of the phone here, or on the top of the phone here, to be really, really nice. That's enough of that. I really think my headphones are going to explode or are going to kill me or something. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But there we go. That's what we get for multimedia and web browsing. About the cameras, because that's another thing that people really seem to be interested in. What does it do? They take pictures, but they take really, really nice pictures. Now, that's probably to do with the fact that on the back we have, like I said, an 8 megapixel camera with autofocus, LED flash, BSI sensor for better low light, f2.0 aperture, 28 millimeter lens. It does 1080p, and they have a bunch of camera settings in here that allow you to make your pictures better. If you pull up the settings menu, there's just options galore in here, and it really is nice to have all of these options available to me while I'm taking pictures from the camera on my phone. And I mean, I've really appreciated that. I really have. Now, with regards to the pictures that this phone takes, they are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They are, some of the better pictures I've seen come off a smartphone. And with that being said, let's take a look at a few of them right now. Alright, so continuing our tour of the device, let's talk a little bit about call quality. That's one of the things that surprisingly isn't as important as it used to be, but I still value my time talking to actual people on my phone. The call quality is good. I really don't have anything to say about it. It's average. It's not like exceptionally clear, and it's also not exceptionally bad. It just sounds like a normal phone conversation, and that's pretty much all there is to say about that. I really wish I could say something more about it. I simply put just can't. So we're gonna move on from there, talking a little bit about the software on this guy, and that is somewhere that I really am loving this phone. HTC Sense, with it has a very unique personality to it. It allows you to customize your phone. It really improves the look and feel of a lot of the menus, like our settings menu here. Gives you a customizable home screen experience, and Sense does a lot. Sense is one of those it's one of those overlays that I really used to not like, just because it was too much. They just blew everything out of proportion. And in the latest version of Sense, they've really fixed that. And I'm very happy to say that they've corrected that, and it's not as intrusive as it used to be, while still maintaining its effectiveness by giving you more personalization options in your email, access to more accounts, linking in more of your content, still gives you access to find your phone, and a bunch of things like that. And it really is nice that HTC kind of listened to the feedback about Sense being a little bit overbearing, and they toned it back. You have apps like FriendStream, which are included as part of Sense. You have the more customized world clock apps. You have the calculator, which is pretty basic here, but it's there's just the subtle things that they've done to the phone that I really, really enjoy. And that being said, there are some things about Sense that I still don't like. It still does slow down to a halt sometimes. It just randomly will grind down to a halt for a second. I don't think it's at the fault of the phone's processor, because the phone's processor is a powerful one. I think it's just the way Sense is designed. It's trying to load too many GUI resources, and it does essentially come to a stop at some points, but it's nothing bad. Another thing I like is their custom widgets that they provide you, like FriendStream, as you saw over there. That one there provides you with information and updates on all your friends in your social networking feeds. Let's see if there's any other customizable widgets in here. You have the calculator widget, calendar, analog clocks. There's just a lot in here. You have the standard HTC weather clock, FriendStream, Gmail. It's as much as it is Android, it's still there's the little things. You have the HTC Hub for some new apps, the more customized messages app. It's the music player. It's there's only so much I can say about this without diving into it in depth about the ins and outs of Android. Plain and simply, it's a very nice operating system. Sense UI 4.0, it's great, and every single time I've seen an update come through this phone, it has addressed some of the issues from before. That concludes my in-depth analysis of the HTC One X. Stay tuned to after the break for my closing thoughts, final comments, and a list of pros and cons. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. More techno-buzz is coming your way after this.
Guys, so a conclusion to the video. What are my thoughts on the HTC One X? Well, let me get you some information first. This guy was the smartphone king of the ring for a few months until the Samsung Galaxy S3 came out. But what is it? It's not a quad-core phone. It's it's not the newest, latest thing. No, what it is the best damn phone you can buy for $50. Hands down. And I mean it. It really, if you're looking at buying a phone for $50, you'd be a fool not to consider this phone. What do you get? LTE, fast dual-core processor, the list goes on. And it truly is going to be my recommended mid-range phone. The high-end phone spot's going to go to the iPhone 5 and the Galaxy S3 in there for your Android fans and your iPhone fans. But the mid-range is going to definitely go to the HTC One X because it has a mid-range price at $49.99. It is a super phone. It does have all the makings to be a very fast phone, and it truly is a great performer. I'm glad to have used it. It truly is a great handset. Talking about the good, it has a very nice design. LTE speeds are amazingly good. $49 price tag, once again, makes it great. 4.7-inch screen is gorgeous. Camera's great. It's just zippy, it is just a nice, quick phone. Gets you through the day. Battery life, from wake up to going to bed, it's still there with you. Unfortunately, though, you can't really give them any points for the lack of a removable battery on this guy, which is still getting to me. No quad-core inside, as much as I'd like to have seen a quad-core processor when this guy came out. Lack of an SD card slot, so there's no expanding of that 16 gigabytes of built-in storage. And the fact that it uses a micro SD card. I don't like those. I'm a fan of the old SD cards, especially in a phone this big. Come on, guys. There's no need for that. The bottom line, this device has its own style, its own personality. It's fast, it has 4G LTE, has a very low price, powers everywhere, and being a quad-core phone isn't everything. If you're looking for a mid to high-end phone, the HTC One X is the phone to grab. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out my full video review. Do appreciate it. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe, and comment. Visit the blog post for this particular review to get access to some more images and other things related to the HTC One X. And stay tuned to techno-buzz for all things technology related. Anyways, guys, this has been Blake from techno-buzz.com and the techno-buzz YouTube channel. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Have you visited our website at techno-buzz.com? If you haven't, it's a great place to get all the latest in technology and gaming. Make sure to keep up to date on all things techno-buzz by following us on Twitter at Mr. Techno-buzz. And if you have an idea for a future show, let our creators know by visiting us in the forums at forum.technobuzz.com. Thanks for watching.